Hello, class. My name is Charles Dietrich, and I'm going to be your instructor for the Introduction to Theater, THE 1041 MSA, for the next 14 weeks. I think our last class is December 14th. Um, uh, and I'm really just making this video because we cannot meet this Saturday, the 31st, in our room. Our first in-person meeting will be September 7th in room 10145 on the 10th floor of the vertical campus. So I thank you for your patience on that. But what I want to do in this video is explain to you the syllabus that I would have done the first day of class had we been together. So let's do that. Either if you saved it on your phone or your laptop, or you printed it out like this, let's go through it line by line so that you know what's expected of you and expected of me. All right, so right away, Theater 1041 MS, Introduction to Theater, Fall 2024. We meet Saturday, 11:10 to 2:05 in room VC 10145. My name is Charles Dietrich, and my email address is skippyd, SKIPPYD 89 at AOL.com. Now that's my personal email. I have a Baruch email, but I can't access it from my laptop at home. Only from school, and it's really difficult, and it's like, don't bother. Don't send anything to that address. Always use this one, all right? Thank you. Required text, there is none. I'm not using a textbook. You will be given study lists, chapters from the history of theater that I've written out during the COVID years when everything was through email because I didn't use Zoom. My old computer didn't, you couldn't use Zoom on the old computer that I had, so we did it all this way. And these videos, nonetheless, all right, so that'll all be provided for you for when the quizzes come the week ahead of time. You'll find out what I mean by that too. Read the course outline to yourself. You know what it is. It's the usual stuff they make us say about the course designed thematically as an appreciation of the elements of the theater through time. Okay, it is. The course is really in two parts. There's the history of the theater from the ancient Greeks on to now, and theater production values, things like acting, directing, scene design, costume design, lighting. Lighting is important. Where's my arms? Over there, right behind me. Yes, that is my vinyl record collection, by the way. We're in my studio apartment up the Board Side. Anyway, so we read all that. There's no, all of that would be provided. 7 short quizzes. Our quizzes are 15 questions each. 15 times 7 is 105. So don't ask about extra credit or anything. If you do what I want you to do throughout the course of the time, you won't need extra credit, all right? And 105, I've built in 5 extra points on these quizzes, right? The quizzes are going to add up to whatever they are. We'll get to the grading thing in a minute. Now, the papers. B, 1 short biography of an assigned theatrical personage, and it's due September 28th in class. In class. You hand me a paper. No, sorry, this paper, no, you don't hand it in. You send it to me electronically, but at class time or before, if you finish it. If you were smart, you do it so you don't get everything all bunched up at the end. I would assign you a person. So say it's me, right? Charles Dietrich. I'm going to assign myself Maria Callas. Maria Callas was a 20th century opera singer, later half of the 20th century, and she was extremely famous and popular in her day, and all of that. And you're going to write this paper in the first person. So you'll write like, my name is Maria Callas. I was born in New York City at Flower Hospital on the Upper East Side on Fifth Avenue. To Greek immigrant parents. My mother and father had problems, so just before World War II started, my mother packed my sister and me up, and we went back to Greece, where I was stuck during the war years because of the Nazis came to Athens and everything. But I studied music at the Athens Conservatory, made my debut there, and all of that, right? Then, because she is dead now, you would say at the end, I died in 1970, whatever it was, in Paris, in my apartment, of a heart attack. And my ashes were strewn into the Aegean Sea. If you have a person who's alive, you can use their website. Many people now have their own website. Go to the biography section. Not everything is Wikipedia. At the end of this paper, I want you to give me just 3 citations of the websites you use. This is a website only paper thing. So, even if you did cut and paste, you'd have to change all the pronouns to the proper I and all of that. So just do that. And I want you to be able to leave this course knowing fully the biography of at least one famous person, right? That's not a big thing. And it's 1 page, double spaced. It could be single spaced if you want, but it's going to be a page or 2, as many pages as you want to write, but at least one. 12 point Times New Roman or New Times Roman, whatever that font is, that looks like a typewriter type. And that's what you're going to use. 1-inch margins. Don't try to skimp by blowing things up. That's not going to work. So anyway, that's that paper. And I'm going to have them assigned probably not the 7th. Yeah, maybe on the 7th or so. I don't want to overburden you too much on our first class. Maybe by the 2nd. Anyway, it'll give you a couple of weeks to do it. The thing is that I need to wait till after dropping ads so that I know who's really going to stay in the class. We have 47 people as of this afternoon. And today's Sunday, by the way. No, it's not. It's Monday. It's Monday. What is it? It's August 26th. Yeah. So, I'll have that assignment later. Now, third thing, C. During the course of the time, probably near after September, so I'm going to be sending you a total of 10 articles. Some of them are old now. I gathered them during the COVID years also. But they're articles about theater from the New York Times. And I want to show you that theater is alive and well and kicking and not all about dead white men writers in the past. There's things about revivals at what's known as the Negro Ensemble Theater, or censorship in Moscow about 3 years ago, that kind of thing, or a variety of papers. Sexual harassment at the New York City Ballet, believe it or not. One man was going out with a woman and he posted obscene pictures of her that he took privately and all of that, and she sued him and everything. And this is at the ballet company, right? So but it's showing you that theater matters even today. So that's the 3 papers. So we've got 7 quizzes and 2 papers each. Now here's where I say that the papers are New Times Roman, 1-inch margins, double spaced. Now, the final, then all of those are worth 20% each. That only totals to 60. The final 40% of your grade is going to be the final presentation. During the course of the time also, just going through the list of names alphabetically, I'm going to divide the class up into groups of 5 people each. And we'll talk about this as the course goes on, so don't worry about it now. But as it says here, 5 or 6 students, because with 47 people, right, one group is going to have 6 people. This is about the production values now. One person, or you're all going to go to the same play. Hopefully, you'll all go to the same performance of the play. Then you're going to sit around the table on nice chairs and present your play to the class. Even if a couple of you went to some other, same play, a couple groups, that's okay, because it's all about perception. It's all about what you see on that stage. So one person is going to talk about sets. One person is going to talk about lights. One person is going to talk about the theater itself. Was it a proscenium arch theater or a theater in the round? Or what was it? Was it outdoors? There's a lot of theater that's going on right now because it's still summer out in the fields. I went to see a production of Tosca, an opera, at Bryant Park Saturday night. And it was fine, not great production. It wasn't a full production either. It was a stage production. But that would be valid because you're going to be talking about, and nothing written with this. And your presentation of what it is, you'll choose ahead of your group that person will be responsible for handing out. You're going to have to tell us how you got your tickets, etc. And I'll explain more of that as we go on. So um, that's really all you have to do in this class. Now, the attendance policy is that everybody gets a free absence, and of course, this Saturday everybody's got it because I'm the one who's absent. So, 31st is freebie, but a free absence after that. So, if you have a wedding to go to or something, use that Saturday off for that reason, right? Illness is unforeseen, so I'm going to tell you now: take care of yourselves. I myself take 2 vitamin C tablets every morning. Do something like that. Keep yourself fit so that you don't get ill. I mean, viruses are still going around, and not everything is COVID. I don't really care about, and it's not my place to ask you what's wrong, but you need to tell me that you're out. I take attendance anyway, so you're going to know you're out. But 2 absences, you can't gain any more than an A- in the class. That's a penalty. 3 absences, no higher than a B. And 4 absences, I'm assigning you a D. I'm not failing you, unless you deserve to fail. But, you'll get a D. And then don't ask me 5 semesters from now to change your grade, because that will be impossible. Don't take advantage of the absentees, because everybody else is 47. If I have 3 people who are out consistently, I've got 44 other people waiting and who are there every week. So, so be on time and be prepared and be attentive. We don't use computers in the classroom to take notes. You take them in a book with a pen. Cheating or plagiarism equals immediate failure. Leave the cell phones and tablets and laptops off unless I ask you to do it for some reason. No food in the room. I checked out the room. The room has no windows in it, not even for light. I mean, we can't open our windows anyway, but we do start at 11 and leave at 2. So either have a late breakfast or very early lunch, or have a brunch at 2 o'clock or 2:30. The problem with food in an enclosed space with already 47, and our cap is 50, and with me that's 51. So food smells. I don't want to sit there having to teach while I'm smelling your McDonald's burger. Really. And McDonald's fries are awful, and they're bad for you anyway. And no crunchy food, no potato chips or anything else. You can survive. You're all young people. You can survive not having food. If you need to, like I do, I keep some candy in my pocket because of some diabetic problems and stuff. That's a different story. And you can set that up with me privately. You can always write to me privately. You don't have to say anything in front of anybody. It's nobody's business, right? Any kind of arrangement you and I make, that's between you and me, all right? So, but I do say here that water and coffee, etc., are all right, because I myself have a jug, a metal thing that I fill up with water and bring to class because I'm talking for 3 hours. That's another thing. It really is a lecture-based course, except for that final project. You're coming in very raw. You don't really know. Maybe some of you are. You've had theater in high school, maybe, or you've come as a transfer student for some other university where you've had you might have even been in a play or 2 in your lifetime. That's great, and we'll talk about that when that happens. But I really do start from scratch. All art starts in a cave. That's going to be my first thing to say to you next Saturday. And then we'll explain that, and we'll go on to the Greeks and playwriting and the Romans and the Middle Ages and the Renaissance. The Renaissance, the Italian Renaissance, the Spanish Renaissance, English Renaissance. That's Shakespeare. That comes around the middle of the class. And then the French Renaissance, 17th century, 18th century and 19th century, and our own century, 20 and 21. So it'll be fun. It's great. We'll have a good time. So that's all right. So now the grade thing. Due to the subjectivity of letter grades, grades will be factored at the lower end of the grade scale. For instance, an A in Baruch's thing is 93 to 100. 93 to 100. Now, if your grades for your quizzes, if you've missed quizzes, etc., are low, and I have to figure out, I don't give everybody 100 for their paper. I give them 93. So when you get an A, it's like a 93, right? A minus would be 90. I think 90 to 93 or 90 to 90.299 or something like that is an A minus. And then a B plus and a B and a C, B minus on down the scale. I will warn you if things are starting to look bad. I will say, you missed 2 classes, one more, and we have to talk about this and blah, 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 But please, if you do have a prior commitment, like I did this coming weekend, why I'm doing this, if you have a prior thing, let me know. Not necessarily the first day of class, write me an email so I can put it in my notations and all that. You won't be there that day or whatever. We'll make some arrangements about other things, makeup tests or something. All right. So let's agree on that. Only the quiz grades will be calculated at their actual points. So if your quiz grades add up to 73, and then you get AA in the 2 papers, and then an A in the presentation, which is counted like twice, it'll be 93, 93, 93, 93, 73 divided by 5. And whatever that comes to, that's your letter grade. That's how I do it. That's how I've been doing it. So we'll turn over this piece of paper to the calendar portion. Everything, an email will be sent to all students with attached syllabus and containing link to the YouTube. Oh, that's what this is. Okay. The 31st is home, right? And I'm going to send this to you probably Thursday night because I'm not going to be available. I don't think on the weekend I'm going to have Wi-Fi, so I don't want to send it at class time. That's what I would have done. But so it'll be a few days before Thursday night. Look for this video and all that. Okay, the 7th, Origins of the Theater, Ritual and Storytelling / Acting. The slash that's the history in the beginning part, and the slash comes, and then what we're going to do afterwards, we're going to address what is acting and the approaches to acting, etc. Then on the 14th, we do the classic theater, Greece and Rome. Actually, yeah, and we're going to do the playwright. Then the theater of Christian Europe, that's the Middle Ages, and the stage director, because our quiz is only going to be on Greece. 15 questions on Greece. That's a very important quiz and beginning because it does all start with the Greeks. I was in Athens myself this past April and everything, and I saw a play there and blah, 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 and I saw the Theater Dionysus and the Acropolis. I went to the opera. I went to another play. I mean, it was fun and all, and to be in the city where it all began in 5000 BC, 5th century BCE. So, and then it goes on. So the quiz is there on Greece. Then the Italian Renaissance, where we studied design for the theater spaces and sets, and the Italian Renaissance, what that's all about. And then quiz number 2 is on Rome and Christian Europe. There'll be 8 questions on Rome and 7 questions on Christian Europe. That makes it 15, or the other way around. I forgot what it is. I haven't seen the quiz for a while. But, this is the first time I'm back, too, since spring. So, then we do the English and Spanish Renaissance, and then, there it is. Okay, and we keep going on design. Yom Kippur, there's no class October 12th. That's why we have to have a class this Saturday. Normally in the calendar, academic calendar, every semester I get, and I say there are no Saturday classes twice a semester. The semester is 14 weeks, but we really only have 12 classes. That's why attendance is important. I have to tell everybody, it's just like I'm an old actor. For 3 hours once a week, you can pay attention to me, right? The only difference between me and you, by the way, is that I know something more about something than you do. And I'm there to impart that knowledge to you. Many of you are business and marketing majors, etc. You have more information at your fingertips about that I don't know about. I need a hand calculator, and cell phones and calculators to me are like terrific, because I'm one of these people when I do math. But anyway, well, that's me. Then they start coming. You see the quizzes. Oh, I have to change that. Oh yeah, the Renaissance quiz is broken up into two parts because it's considering four countries. So when we're doing the other two, the Spanish are going to overlap with the French. You're going to get quiz number 3, part 1, a mini quiz of just half the quiz on the Italian and English Renaissance. Then the next week when we're studying, that's why I want to do the quizzes first. Get it out, get that information out of your head and onto the paper. They're going to be handout quizzes, by the way, not online quizzes. You'll get a hand piece of paper. You sit there, you circle the right answer. You're going to see it written out. Okay. Schiller. Okay. Many. Okay. Right. Lessing, Schiller, and Goethe are German blank, and it'll say musicians, stage managers, directors, playwrights, actors. The answer is playwrights, and you circle it in. Just circle it. And when I give it back to you the next week, I'm just going to say, I'll circle the correct answer. Say you circled actors. I'll put an X next to it, and I will circle the correct thing so that you know what mistake you made, and you get it next week. And, it'll be very good if you get 14 out of 15. That's terrific, So there's that. And then, as you see, we study. That's why I want to be able to clear your mind of that the past, and then go on with the new lesson. That's kind of what I want to do. Then the 18th century quiz 4, 19th century quiz 5. Then November 16th is the modern theater beginning. We have a whole lecture where you'll see on the 9th we do the theaters of Asia. I'm one of the few colleagues of mine that actually address Asian theater. We're only going to address Japan, India, and China, Beijing opera, Kathakali dance, and Sanskrit drama of India, and No Kabuki and Bunraku of Japan. These are their classical theaters. Modern theater is all over the place. We know that. So this is the classical stuff. Then one of the other things I do on the 23rd that a lot of my people don't do is the business of show business. And that's because, if you notice, the next week is Thanksgiving. And I know many of you live with your parents and all of that, and we won't have class that Thanksgiving weekend. That's our second class free. But many of you might want to skip out of town. Your parents are going to go visit your grandparents somewhere in the Midwest or California or South America. And well, you might want to return home. I myself am going to Florida to be with my brother's family in and around Orlando that weekend. But I'm flying out on Tuesday, coming back Saturday. A little goes a long way with Florida with me. And then we come back and we finish up the 20th century. And the last quiz is on the modern theater and the 20th century, 21st century theater. And it's done at the last part of class, after break or whatever, because there's a video about an hour that I'm going to show you beforehand about theater in the 20th century. Then on the 14th are the final presentations. You see, we have a final. It would be the 21st. I don't want to have a final exam 3 days before Christmas. That's ridiculous, So for the 14th, well, that's another thing. Final exams are in 2-hour blocks. Traditionally, because we end at 2, our final would be 1 to 3 on the 21st of December. And you can't we're going to have 9 presentations, if not 10, right? You can't do 9 presentations in 2 hours. It takes an hour just if you add up the minutes to get 5 people to come and sit down and get arranged, and 5 people, and then go back to their seats while the others are coming up and all of this. So 3 hours is great. So that's why I'm using the class time at the end to do the final presentations in class. It's not a written final, no written finals. This is exactly and all you'll have to do. So hopefully you've enjoyed this little thing. You've got a face to my name now, and I will see you on the 7th of September, 9/7. And if you have any questions about this or anything you need to tell me, feel free to email me separately. I can answer emails. I have the phone. I also bring when I travel, and I'll be traveling this coming week, from Wednesday to Wednesday. I will have my laptop with me, so we can be connected. We're very much connected. All right. So be well, get ready. We'll have a good semester. And like I said, if you see rate my professors, some people will say I'm an easy A. I'm an easy A as long as you do what I ask you to do in the way I ask you to do it. All right? That's not very difficult. Think of me as a boss, and you're on my team. You have to pay attention to the boss. Real life out in the business world is not a collaboration. Not really. Even if you're at a meeting, there's somebody who chairs the meeting. That's me. All right? So, be well, like I said, and enjoy. And I hope to see you all in class soon.